Om Shri Ganeshaya Namo Namah. Greetings to everyone, world over, all our brothers and sisters across the globe, wherever you are. We send you a warm greetings all the way from India, 9 p.m. Sunday, 28 July 2024. It could be green morning, green afternoon, green evening, depending on where you are, which part of the world you are, and where from you're joining us for this particular program. Wherever you are, we pray to Almighty for your good health, for your wellness, for your well being, for your family, and all of you together. Ladies and gentlemen, on Sunday evening, we always organize India Tourism this week and today, because budget has just been placed a couple of days back. So we all are sharing with each other what exactly is there for us in the tourism. As far as tourism industry is concerned, what kind of an allocation has been given by the government of India and how are we proceeding? So welcome to Sunday evening special Union Budget 2024 Focus Tourism. And of course, from here, when we all move together with your suggestions, we are having a series, India Tourism 2047. What kind of a scenario would be there when India would be celebrating 100 years of its independence एंड 100 वर्षों का हम सब लोग स्वतंत्रता दिवस इकट्ठे मना रहे होंगे, तो उस समय भारत का टूरिज्म कैसा होगा, भारत के टूरिज्म की छवि कैसी होगी, भारत का पर्यटन का सहयोग क्या होगा और योगदान क्या होगा, उन सब चीजों को हम लेकर चलते हैं। तो आइए आज इंडिया टूरिज्म 2047, एंड दैट इज द विजन and that is the focus, that is the dimension. But we are taking up today Union Budget 2024 and particularly tourism allocations. Let's move on, let's roll in. The government has allocated 2,479 crores for the tourism sector in this financial year, according to the budget estimates. In contrast to this, the government had allocated 2,400 crores in the last financial year when you take into consideration. Now, how the budget 2024 changes travel for Indians within the country as well as abroad. Ladies and gentlemen, tourism, hospitality, aviation, all these are interconnected. And tourism cuts across almost all sectors of the economy, directly, indirectly, whatever you take into consideration. So all are captains of the travel trade, hospitality, and aviation together as a golden triangle. When we take into consideration, let's take step by step what exactly government has given in the union budget. Now, the union budget introduced changes affecting international travel, particularly for the Indian citizens, including adjusted tax collected at source rates and increased investments in tourism infrastructure. Now, when we take this into consideration, it's very important to understand these modifications may alter travel patterns and financial planning, particularly through higher, the tax collected at source rates on overseas tour packages. It's very important. The budget also focused on enhancing domestic tourism, religious tourism, pilgrimage tourism circuits within our country. A notable change in the, that is the adjustment of the tax collected at source on foreign remittances. The budget proposes allowing individuals to inform employers about the tax collected at source payments, which can be factored into tax deducted at source, that is your TDS collections and calculations on your salaries. Well, this aims to ease financial burden by potentially lowering the TDS deductions. The impact is not straightforward due to the complexity of tax collected at source. It's not that as simple as we think and as we talk about it. Now, another dimension of the tourism boost, which basically we got to take an impact of the present budget. 9% of the Indian high net worth travelers, they are planning to spend more in the next 12 months. The tax collected at source rates vary significantly because it is based on the purpose of remittance. For instance, let's take it self-financed education expenses face a 5% tax collected at source rates above 7 lakh, while overseas tour packages are subject to a steep 20% above the same threshold. This, the tiered system could influence how individuals plan their international travel and education pursuits, with savvy travelers potentially, booking travel components separately to optimize tax liabilities. Let's talk about global connectivity and travel facilitation. The budget's emphasis on enhancing the global connectivity aligns with facilitating seamless travel experiences. Now, companies specializing in visa, passport services, they are likely to play a crucial role in helping traveler navigate evolving tax regulations and manage global mobility efficiently. As India's tourism offerings improve, there might be a shift in traveler preferences. More Indians might choose to explore now domestic destinations before venturing abroad, while international travelers could find India a more attractive option in the competitive global tourism market. These changes come as the global travel industry is still recovering from the pandemic impacts. The additional layer of financial planning required due to the tax collected at source system could deter some travelers, especially those already cautious about international travel. That is something very important which we all have to realize and we have to take into consideration. Let's look at another, the boost what government of India talks about as far as the budget allocation towards tourism is concerned. Now, infrastructure development, boosting cultural tourism, religious tourism, pilgrimage tourism. The budget also focuses on infrastructure development, particularly the historical and cultural sites, such as Vishnupad Temple, Mahabodhi Temple. These upgrades, modeled after the successful Kashi Vishwanath, the corridor expansion, temple redevelopment, it signals a push to enhance India's appeal as a cultural tourism destination. This investment could also attract more international visitors while inspiring renewed interest in domestic tourism among Indians. And if you're traveling within India, we would encourage you travel to northeast part of India because during the pandemic, Dekho Apna Desh, where the Honorable Prime Minister gave a push, and it was conveyed at that point of time that if you travel anywhere, different parts of India in the next 12 months, how Ministry of Tourism, Government of India is going to support you the best possible way. So we would request and we would strongly recommend that Dekho Apna Desh should be given more boost as far as the domestic tourism part is concerned, and particularly the association with Shri P.P. Khanna ji, who was recently with us in one of the, the national conference and program on skills development, particularly reoccupation defense personnel. We discussed with him as well, and I'm pretty sure Association of Domestic Tour Operators, it will give a big boost to it. And in the forthcoming, I think end of the next month, there is going to be IATO's annual convention, Indian Association of Tour Operators. We discussed recently with Rajiv Mehraji also, the president of the IATO, and they are going to go to Bhopal. So the last few days of August and first few days of September, there's going to be an international conference of IATO. We would appreciate if you all, those are interested to boost tourism and encourage tourism, you must participate over there. At the same time, when you look at FHRAI, Federation of Hotel and Restaurant Association of India, they are going to have their annual convention somewhere coming up in month of October, and that's going to take place in Goa. So do participate there also. More outlet, more hotels, more resorts, and more accommodation should get into system with more eatery joints. Okay. The government is also giving a big push and supporting Nalanda as a tourist center, besides reviving Nalanda University, the ancient university, which we have been reading in our history books quite some time. The government has also proposed comprehensive development initiative of the Rajgir, because Rajgir holds immense religious significance for Hindus, Buddhists, Jains. All that has to be taken into consideration. And if you think about the Saptarishi, or the seven hot springs from a warm water, that is the Brahmakund, that is also sacred, that is also being thought of. Let's talk about regional focus. So Odisha tourism development also has been given boost in this budget. So the allocation of additional funding for tourism development in Odisha highlights the government strategy of developing diverse tourism circuits. As lesser known destinations receive attention and investment, they could emerge as a compelling alternatives to established international tourism spots, potentially influencing both domestic as well as international travel patrons. All that we have to take into consideration. Now, these changes present mixed economic outcomes and mixed reactions. And when we talk to different stakeholders, and particularly the travel trade, when we talk about, they had a lot of expectations in this budget from travel and tourism industry. And particularly when we talked about IATO president, association of the domestic tour operators, adventure tour operators, and a couple of other dignitaries, when we talked to them from the industry, they had large expectations. They had more expectations. And when Prime Minister of India talks about tourism very often, so we were expecting, all of us, that there will be a big boost to tourism. And however, I think let's go with the flow, and let's put our they say result is the name of the game. Let's work hard for next couple of months and show to the government how tourism can basically to be given complete push, so that it can stimulate India's economy and it can add value in all directions. Now, while domestic tourism could see a boost, creating jobs, stimulating local economies, the complexities of the tax collected at source system might deter some international travelers. The travel industry must adapt, with agencies and tour operators needing to navigate the intricacies of the tax collected at source system and possibly offer more comprehensive financial advice alongside traditional services. Few days back, when we talked with the president of our chamber, Dr. Subhash Goyalji, the legend of Indian tourism and person who has dedicated more than 50 years to travel and tourism industry, he was giving a lot of insight. Just on the budget day, when budget was allocated that evening at 9 p.m., you can go through our GS Motivator YouTube channel, and you can see the video which we displayed on 23rd of July. Now, the recent budget changes present both opportunities and challenges for international travel. They aim to streamline processes and enhance India's tourism offerings while introducing new complexities, particularly in taxation system. Travelers will need to be more informed and strategic, in their planning, while the travel industry must evolve to provide comprehensive support beyond traditional services. As these chances or changes that take effect, their true impact on international travel patrons will become more apparent in the times to come in ensuing months. These modifications signify a noteworthy shift in global mobility for Indian citizens and those wishing to explore India's rich cultural heritage while visiting India as tourists. Ladies and gentlemen, from our chamber, we would like to make some recommendations to the travel trade, industry captains, all associations of tourism, hospitality, and aviation, including MICE industry. And here is an appeal also to the Government of India, Ministry of Finance, Ministry of Commerce, and particularly to Honorable Prime Minister of India. All of us, we should join hands and let's write a small kind of, collective in one podlock recommendations to Honorable Prime Minister to have a relook, send it across to Honorable Finance Minister also to kindly have a relook. And meanwhile, few suggestions we would like to make from our chamber. If you recall, Dr. Subhash Goyalji, when he addressed the global audience and he recollected a couple of points, he says our expectations were much more from this particular travel trade. However, whatever has been given, let's give a push to that and make optimum utilization of the resources so the government realizes. At the same time, he also recommended let more flights and let more routes be opened up to India. Let people be allowed to travel to India. Let there be more aircrafts coming to India. Let there be a more air transportation system opening up to India. And at the same time, let us make optimum utilization of all the resources which have been made available to tourism stakeholders from this particular budget the best possible way. Besides pilgrimage and cultural tourism, let us focus on areas where the industry can do wonders if all of us are together. When you go separately, just with your segment, your voice may not be heard. But if all of us, we put our together efforts in one podlock, the results are wonderful and going to be wonderful. You know, at its own, it gets a additional resources budget from the government. As a result is the name of the game, which I made a mention. Let us focus on, first of all the time we talk about India has got demographic dividend. So let's focus on our human development. Let's focus on service industry. Let's increase the scope of the work of travel trade and try and see what other services can be brought directly into the fold of travel and tourism and hospitality and aviation and retail and MICE. Couple of areas are there. Innovative education ecosystem. Adopt technology the best possible way. Where can we cut the cost? Move from skilling. I'm going to move ahead of skilling. All the time talking only skilling, skilling, skilling. Come on, the world has moved on. Move from skilling to competencies. Competencies to talent management. Talent management to passion and hobbies and whatever can become profession for our youth. The best possible way. Bring in more curiosity to creativity, to collaboration in entire industry. Please do not put your demand as individual or lonesome association. All of us, we should go together. And when we talk about that, let all association of tourism, hospitality, aviation, education, skills, travel trade, professionals, we all should get together and let's move ahead of even organization called Faith. Because I had a lot of expectations during the pandemic and post-pandemic. Faith has to become more vibrant. So let us think beyond faith, ahead of faith, to get real results somewhere. We are lacking to convince Ministry of Finance what is the vision of the Honorable Prime Minister of India. How does he want to bring and how does he want to make India 5 trillion economy? How does he want to bring more employment? This challenge is being discussed every day. Every day is being discussed. Why are we not focusing tourism, travel, hospitality, aviation, retail, MICE, and service industry can bring so much of employment and entrepreneurship. We require more startups and overall socioeconomic development and economic multipliers through combination of golden triangle, tourism, hospitality, and aviation. Let us take up the matter. Let us take up jointly with Honorable Prime Minister, make a plea to him, make a request to him. Let us take it up with the Honorable Finance Minister also again to kindly relook at tourism, hospitality, aviation, MICE, untapped potential in India. I'm pretty sure we'll get some reply. We will get some boost. We'll get some encouragement. We can get some additional funding. We can get some additional perks and privileges. And Ministry of Commerce and Industry, Government of India also can play a very important role. When Piyush Goyalji is thinking of 1 trillion services exports from India, tourism, hospitality, and related areas play a very important role in services exports. So with these words, ladies and gentlemen, look forward to meeting you tomorrow evening. We meet once again tomorrow evening at 9 p.m. with further journey. And all of us, we will be together we will take it up and we'll move ahead. Thank you very much for joining us today. Look forward to meeting you tomorrow evening at 9 p.m. खुश रहिए, मुस्कुराते रहिए, पॉजिटिव रहिए, डायनामिक रहिए, वाइब्रेंट रहिए, चलते जाइए मंजिल की तरफ को. कभी ना कभी तो टूरिज्म विल बी रिकॉग्नाइज्ड एज ए पासपोर्ट टू पीस, प्रोग्रेस एंड प्रॉस्पेरिटी ऑफ ह्यूमैनिटी. इंडिया का सबसे बड़ा सोल्यूशन टूरिज्म इंडस्ट्री की तरफ से आता है. नमस्कार.